Hey, what's up, guys? It's Ben 10,000 Joe, your friendly neighborhood Yu-Gi-Oh! Superhero, and today, well, we're hanging out with the ladies. Okay, so silly joke aside, today's deck profile is Amazon's. So essentially, this is a viewer request deck, and I decided to, since I do not have any of the Amazon cards, I went full ham, basically. I was like, okay, I'm just going to play with whatever comes to mind and try a few different tricks, and this deck has been a royal pain in my ass. It is currently 3 o'clock in the morning, Thursday morning as of recording this, so you guys probably won't see this video until this afternoon. I'm very exhausted and I've had a very rough day. And so, yeah, this deck is just, But unfortunately, excuse me, the viewer requested deck was requested from a friend of mine who enjoys torturing me with decks, and he knows that I will have trouble finding ways to work. But I found one to work. It just is going to play a few cards that are a little on the, shall we say, yeah. Anyway, so if you're new here, because I noticed that, like, I want to say damn near, 15 of you are? You guys are crazy. Guys, as of making this video, I'm literally 9 subs away from the big 200. If I make it to 200 before this week is over, I'm gonna flip out. Because I'm gonna be shocked. Literally. Anyway, I'm gushing. Let's get into it. Basically what's gonna happen is, if, the way you guys are new here, so I'm gonna explain how I do things on my channel. We have the intro, we have this little discussion here at the front, and then we go into some replay footage that because I play the deck and try to show you that it works and how it works, etc. And then I will go over the deck profile. So, and for those of you who just want the deck profile, don't necessarily want to watch the replays, I will leave a time code in the comments below. It will be pinned. I got you guys. So, without further ado,
And there you have it, guys. This is my Amazon deck profile, or Amazoness deck profile, excuse me. It's please forgive me, it's late and I'm very tired. And I'll get to why I was so late towards the end of the video. Anyway, so I've been asked to start highlighting over the cards. So here's what I'm gonna do. As I'm talking about it, I'm gonna highlight over them, okay? So you guys can see up here in the top left-hand corner what the cards are, or get a closer look. So essentially what this deck is, the idea behind this one is I just wanted to be able to pump out more rank 4s. Essentially what the Amazoness deck has evolved into, it is all centered around the Amazoness Princess. She's kind of the linchpin to the deck, so you need 3 of her. And then of course you get Amazoness Pet Baby Tiger, and essentially you just you abuse it and you make link plays from there, or fusion plays depending on what you need. Now the cool thing about the Princess and the Amazoness Call here is that these cards essentially allow you to go to any Amazon card you want, so you don't have to run triple of, like, say, the Village or the Ambush. You can just play 1 or 2 or however many you need and then just search them out. We are playing hand traps, so that's the part where I meant where I was talking about the deck being expensive, because you know, if you're playing the deck, you've got this version of the deck, it's going to be pricey. You know, things like Skull Dread is not exactly cheap either. But yeah, and then of course with all my decks you can ignore the sideboard here. But there you go. This was the entire deck. Essentially, your overall goal is basically just summon Princess and go plus. It's kind of simple like that. The bad side to this deck is your protection is very, you don't have anything that negates. Basically, all of your protection cards, like, you don't have any walking negates in this deck. You just have, like, walking shields, essentially. Like your Amazoness Empress and your Amazoness Queen, they're both like, oh yeah, Amazon cards can't be destroyed by battle, or Amazon cards can't be destroyed by card effects. The problem is, unless you get two Empresses out at the same time, your opponent can still nail you. And a Kaiju is your worst nightmare. The other thing this deck is very susceptible to is it doesn't, it's a snowball deck. Essentially, you have to set up and then build your board from there. It's not as explosive as, say, something like Pendulums. If you were to play, like, you know, Magician Pendulums, your deck would just, you know, bleh, onto the board. This deck does not do that. This deck throws like 1 or 2 monsters, and that's the reason why we're also playing Thrasher here. It's so we can go into Exciton Knight. Essentially what this does is it gives us the ability to kind of even the playing field, like blow their stuff up and still snowball. Oh, excuse me. Sorry again, it's late. And then, of course, because we have no walking negates, we had to play as much monster hate, essentially, as we could put in this deck without going too far. So we've got Valor, Chalice, and Strike, and Warning. We throw as much monster hate in there. And then, of course, if we needed more back row hate, we're playing cards like Grand Pulse, Twin Twisters. We got another Twin Twisters right here on the sideboard. For the most part, you can ignore it, but this is the one card you would probably want to side as another one. We also have Break Sword, just another way to get rid of back row cards. Essentially, that's what that was. And then, of course, you know, we got Link Karibo. Basically, all of this, aside from Mrs. Radiant, is all either to get to Deco Talker or Skull Dread, and that's just, you know, going plus, card economy, etc. The same idea when you're playing Pot of Desires. I never drew it in any of the versions that I played it in. I did, however, see Metaphos Fusion, which was actually really cool because the thing about it is, like, alright, so we can actually special summon Amazons from the deck with the Amazon Princess, but in order to do that, we have to send a card to the graveyard from our field or our hand. With Metaphos Fusion, it becomes a plus because we don't give up anything. The Metaphos Fusion goes to the grave, we get the Queen, which is what I more often go into. And then, you know, we put the fusion back and get another card, so essentially what we turn into a break even, we make into a plus. It's for this deck, it's all about that. Because you can't afford to play cards like Triple Pot of Desires. You're just gonna mill out your deck and not have any combo pieces. So since we're a very combo-oriented deck, we kind of had to think of plays like that. So we go plus by either nuking the opponent's board with Exciting Knight, abusing the Princess, and in combination with Metaphos Fusion or our one Pot of Desires. That's how we go plus in card economy, and essentially this is the best I could come up with. I know this is probably not the best version of Amazon's, but with the very stressful day I've had today, or excuse me, yesterday as of recording this video, because it's early in the morning on Thursday, so you know, there you go. This was my deck profile. This was Amazon's for me. I hope that explains everything for you. If you guys want to see me do a deck profile in the future, I will do any kind of deck you want. I do have a list, so it may take me a while to get to you. And if you have any caveats, like for example, if you say you want me to build a Red Eyes deck, but you want me to do it with, you know, but I have to tech in like Mathematician or something as an example. You know, make sure you're feel free to put crazy stuff like that. I'm always looking to build crazy deck ideas and see what I can come up with. So you're invited to do that. If you're new here and you want to subscribe, please do. I make content every Thursday and Sunday for you guys, and you know, and I take suggestions. If there's anything in particular you guys want to see, please leave that also in the comments below. In case you guys are wondering on the personal side of things why this video is kind of late today, it's because yesterday I had to bury a four-legged friend of mine. He was hit by a car and he died, so I had to help bury him, and yesterday was a very stressful day for me. You know, as it is when you have to say goodbye to any friend, whether they be human or otherwise. So I hope you guys can understand my video being a little late, and you know, forgive me for kind of going back on what I said in the last video about not making videos so late at night / early in the morning. I did have a valid reason, so I hope you'll forgive me for that. And if you're new here, please consider subscribing. I promise they're not all these videos are as somber as the end of this one was. I will avoid that in the future. I just wanted to be 100% transparent with you guys, because I felt like you guys deserve that, because you're kind of taking a chance on me, who's kind of a nobody here on the YouTube space. So thank you guys for that. Anyway, I'm Ben2000YGO. I am signing off, and I will see you guys Sunday. Peace.